Hi folks, doing Hero of None here. We're going to be taking a look at what's currently on the PTS, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the different looks coming in the next DLC for Wrathstone. We're going to briefly talk about some of the sets as well, but probably going to be focusing on the look of it. Some of these things may change, but the looks generally stay the same. So first, we currently have Icy Conjurer set here, which is a cold snap motif. You can see here. It has a fur look, so it's kind of Nordic with some of this here. The sides of this here kind of have an Ashlander look to it. You're going to see some of the other ones where it covers the face and looks very Ashlandic. Or Ashlander. Don't really know what to make of these little horns they have on top here. Is it a devil? Is it a beetle? I don't know. This is currently the light version here. Here it is with the full instead of just the jerkin. A Meridian. Torgvin's Helm, I can never pronounce this right. This is the same cold snap motif, but as you can see, it's a little bit more barbaric. It's got bones along the side here, along with spikes. Like I said it before, it has that Ashlander look, especially with the face cowl to it. But it still has that Nordic feel to it because it has that fur coming off the sides here. And finally, Mighty Glacier is going to be the heavy. You can see here it's gotten a lot more face coverage. Don't really know what to make of these, like, I don't know, are they like full fur bulges side? I don't, that doesn't, is that how that works? And it looks kind of weird to me, at least, because she actually had the ears on the side here, very spiky on the shoulder pads. And we also have the various weapons to it too. So I've only taken out one because you've seen one weapon set. It's for the motif, you've seen it all. So currently the axe. Kind of like an ice pick. Battle axe. Ooh, that's jagged. Look at that. That looks like one laid on top of the other, laid on top of the other. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. That is doing some damage right there. That looks like a bit like scrap metal with the bone used to like mesh it together. Bow? Interesting quiver. Bow itself is okay. I'm surprised it doesn't have more bone to it itself, but I guess it's in the quiver for that. The bow almost looks mechanical, though. Dagger. Nice and jagged. Great sword. Ooh, that's a cleaver right there. Whoa, that's... They're not using it the other way. They're using it that way. Okay. That's kind of weird. I mean, I would expect the curved end to go forward, but... Huh, interesting. I guess you wouldn't because it has that ridge on the back there, but... That's actually pretty cool. I definitely like that. I definitely like that heavy, this two-hander style right here. Inferno Staff. Very interesting here. There's a bone on the front there, and it pretty spiky on that one too. Mace. Ooh, a bone club. Take a look at that with the dagger there. I only glanced over the dagger. Oh, dagger's actually got like a kind of see-through thing to it. But yeah, you're taking a fever and bashing somebody in the head. That's what that is right there. Maul. What type of animal has a femur that big? Like, are we killing mammoths and making weapons out of them, or what? Also, those two, the two things in the back there are like lopsided, like one way or the other. I'm like wondering if they're actually held on. Finally, a sword. Oh, much like the greatsword there. Yeah, I definitely like the greatsword more. The sword's not bad. It definitely gives a distinct look to the sword versus the dagger. So let's talk real quick on the actual sets and what they do. So the heavy armor set here is stamina and magicka. Stamina and magic recovery, and then when you snare or immobilize an ability with a target immobilized, you and 11 other group members get major resolve and major ward for 15 seconds, increasing your physical and spell resistance. Effect can occur every 10 seconds. So a very interesting set here. So basically, it's going to keep major ward and resolve up for a long time. And you don't have to do it for like a group of enemies or anything. You just have to do like one low slash and that's it. You already have it on. I think this, despite this being for heavy armor and coming out of a PvE dungeon, I think this is PvP based, to be honest. There's already a lot of snares going on inside of Cyrodiil, and this set seems like it's good for a warband when you're trying to push on things. You go in and just use one snare type ability, and then your entire group is going to have that major ward and major resolve. So yeah, I think that's the feeling I get from this, or at least what I feel they were thinking about when they made this. Torgvaden's set, which is the medium set here. Critical, weapon critical, penetration. Penetration is very important for DPS set. And now, we deal critical damage. With a light or heavy attack, you gain a stack of precision. Increase your weapon critical by 124 for 10 seconds. And it stacks up to 10 times. When max stat, we have max stacks for that, you're going to get minor force, increase your critical damage by 10% here. I feel like this is going to be replacing Advancing Ukita. Advancing Ukita is very good for people that don't have high crit, but given most PvE players that are playing stamina class are going to have high crit, this I feel is going to help them out a lot, especially if they're not a Nightblade. Nightblade's non-Nightblade classes kind of have an issue getting minor force from other sets, so they're going to get this critical. It's going to be about, well, it's not going to be about, it's going to be about 1,240 critical, which is a little bit less than Advanced Ukita, which typically gives about 2,000, but you're getting physical penetration on this, and you're also getting minor force. Physical penetration is also going to be a little bit more important because another change that they made inside the PTS is going to be having the amount of enchantments are going to be halved on one-handers, which means that all crushing enchantments that your tank usually has to give you extra penetration is now going to go down an extra X amount here. So that extra physical penetration may actually make it better and help balance it out more for that change. So we'll see on that. And finally, the other set that comes out of, or that goes with this cold snap set stuff, magicka, spell damage, spell penetration. And Apply a minor debuff to your enemy. Summon a non-reflectable ice wraith that charges the enemy, dealing 18,260 frost damage over 4 seconds. This effect can occur every 12 seconds. I think this is very interesting. It's going to be a single target proc. I think this would be possibly useful inside PvP, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be useful in PvP because typically procs that don't, unless there's a monster helm here, procs that are just don't buff anything or do anything kind of don't have a purpose because they can't crit and they can't really scale with your stats. So you're always kind of behind the ball, but it is quite a bit of damage for frost damage, making it kind of viable, I'd say, for wardens. We'll have to see. I'm not sure if this is going to be good or bad, given the numbers on that. So that is currently the cold snap stuff. So let's take a look at the Meridian stuff here, and hopefully got all of it out here. One thing I'll notice right now, the scavenging demise, I hate it when they do this. You notice that most of the stuff here is like Aurorian, Frozen Watcher, etc. But the scavenging demise, look at this. They put belt of, boots of, so it's all over the place here. So apologies, I've had to do some scrolling to get to this stuff. So let's look at the light stuff first. Oh, sorry. One thing I have to go back and do real quick just to show it, because I showed it at the start here, but didn't really show it before, but the shield. I'm always about shields here. So the shield here doesn't look too bad. Kind of interesting back view from that.
Don't look away.
So yeah, that's the cold snap shield right there. So sorry about that. So anyway, back to the looks of things. Aurorian, which is the light Meridian set here. So if you haven't heard already, part of this DLC is going to be going into a Meridian's, what do you call it? Meridian's, a dungeon that Meridian is trying to protect and keep people away from. And this is actually kind of interesting. It's got a Guyver type look for the helmet. This is only light armor, but it looks super tanky. And look at those feet there. It kind of gives me a dragon feel to it, to be honest. Very interesting, yes. And if you remember doing the Somerset DLC or Somerset chapter, Darian in that Golden Knight outfit, it looks very similar to that actually. Now that I think about it. All right, let's take a look at the scavenging demise. Apologize again. They did this thing again where they worded it differently for each one, so it's all over the place. Let's scroll through things to find it. I'm missing pants and a hat. Of course, I don't have any add-ons here to help me through. Helmet, guards. There we go. Even more of a Guyver look here. Actually, it looks kind of cool with the Khajiit ears coming out of there. You got kind of like blades on the side here. Again, those 3 toes on the boots. Like, it feels like those almost should be just blades so you can kick somebody. Still a very tanky type look, even a medium. Alright, I think Frozen is a heavy. Yep, here we go. Oh. Because I keep on forgetting to do this here. We had the jerkin. And they are the robe. Robe is actually fairly tanky as well. Like armor right down the side. Sorry for jumping around there like that, guys. Anyway, frozen. Oh yeah, now we're full tank on this. But the other sets look just as like powerful as this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay, so when I look at this chest plate, okay, and granted, this is the Elsewhere, like a lead up to the Elsewhere DLC, but right now I'm seeing a cat face. Do you see it? Like, here's the eye, here's another eye, here's the little cat nose right here. Here's like the little smile. See the little like dimple? It's a little bit messed up for a cat face, but I don't know, maybe I'm seeing things there. Looking it straight on though, it's like 2 eyes, little nose, little mouth. But very nice inlay. Again, you got the cat ears coming out of the side here, and it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look like you're cutting something off. Peter Kapow Jones. Alright, just need to be good there. Alright, let's take a look at the Meridian stuff next for weapons. Alright, so one of the axes. Battle axe. Kinda looks like a dragon wing. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Dagger. Kind of weird to see it with like 2 blades like that. Great sword. Again, 2 blades coming out of that. I don't think that I don't know. Maybe to me it just looks kind of flimsy. I only need to show one of these stabs. They're all the same here. Always gonna give you a better view of the stabs in first person here. Mace. Interesting hammer look. We're going to the next one there. Let's take a look at the sword. Yeah, sword is, again, looks just like the daggers, just longer. I like the other. I like the other set a little better. The dagger and the sword were distinctly different, but still, you could still see they tied together. Ball. I don't know. The maul kind of it looks more clunky now that I see it bigger than the mace was. I think that's it, right? Oh, last thing would be the shield, I believe. Where did I put the shield? There, remember the shield? There we go. Orion shield. Put a weapon on here so I can actually equip it. Or draw it out here. Interesting. So out of my two sets, I definitely prefer the cold snap stuff, especially for the weapons. Orion stuff isn't too bad. It gives a golden night look. Definitely would recommend having gold dyes if you want to be a little bit more in touch with Meridian. Now let's talk about the sets themselves here. So Aurorian first. It's a light armor set. So spell damage, spell penetration. Health, spell damage, spell penetration, and when you deal damage to nearby enemies with a single target ability, you summon a cone of lightning from your chest for 3 seconds, dealing 1240 shock damage every 0.5 seconds to all the enemies in the cone. It can occur every 6 seconds. So kind of weird on that total. So it's every 0.5 seconds, right? So 1240. That's gonna be 6 instances, so times 6. You're gonna be looking at 7,440 damage every 6 seconds, and you can only do it for. You can only do this. You can only get half the uptime with it. Well, granted, though, this is a single target ability that's going to be turning things into AoE, so having less damage on it doesn't necessarily make it bad then. And it doesn't say it has a limit either, so that might not be too bad. I don't know, I'll have to see. Try to think of how many proc sets I can remember that actually do group AoE. Most stuff I can remember is usually single target with certain damage like that. But given the fact it's going to hit everyone in an area with a single target, maybe it'll be good. I think the one thing that bothers me with this on a spell point or a stats point here is the fact that the first two is health, but then it does get spell penetration, which would help you a bit more on the other end. So I don't know. I think that's. I don't think it's going to be strong enough. I think they might have to tweak that one. Next, Scavenging Demise. Weapon damage, critical, and when you do critical poison damage to an enemy, summon a Scavenging Ma who, after 2 seconds, will attack the enemy, dealing 6,756 poison damage and inflict minor vulnerability for 15 seconds. Increasing the damage taken by 8%. Can occur every 10 seconds. Well, the good thing with this here, okay, so it's the same minor damage, right? And it only gives less than the Magicka variant, and it's also not AoE, so it's only a single target. But the good thing with this is it also inflicts minor vulnerability, which will which if you have it up, it's going to be up 100% of the time here. So critical, well, assuming that it's critical poison damage, but given you have so many sources of poison damage, that could be the other takeaway on that too. I'm just trying to remember if there's enough sources of minor vulnerability to make this viable. If there's another class that can actually do minor vulnerability, then that extra 8% damage taken isn't really going to do a whole lot for this set. So, I don't know. Again, another one here, I have to take a look and do more research to see if you have other sources that can do minor vulnerability. If there's no other sources that can, this could be potentially a good set to use. Especially for DKs. And then the heavy armor set here. Mighty Glacier. Stamina, Magicka. Stamina, Magicka. No, wait, that's wrong set there. Sorry about that. Wait, that sounds a lot like the other one there. Here we go. Stamina, health, stamina, and summon a blizzard around you while blocking, inflicting 965 frost damage every 1 second to enemies within your blizzard. Your blizzard has a 15% chance to inflicting chilled on enemies damaged. Don't think that's going to be a PvE set here. It doesn't buff a party, and it doesn't really give a huge buff that would. It doesn't give a buff that would be useful inside of a dungeon, in my opinion. Like, the chilled status effect here is not as important as some of the other stuff here, which either buff the party or debuff the enemy. This, on the other hand, for PvP might be a little bit more viable because this doesn't have a downtime. Let's verify that. Let me verify that real quick. This does not have a downtime. Yeah, no downtime. It's just automatic. You have a oh, this is basically making everyone a Sork right here. You combine this with Hurricane, and you have a Nightblade trying to look away. Oh no, I blocked. Sorry, you can't get away. Oh, you're trying to get away? Nope. Oh, sorry, you're frozen in my ice storm here. And yeah, you have a Sork on top of that, who's also using Hurricane. So I don't know how I feel about this one. It has no cooldown time. It's going to be up the entire time, and it's going to chill 15% chance to chill the enemies. Really? This is a little bit of a bizarre set for me. I don't know. I definitely feel it's PvP based. Definitely feel PvP based on this one. Put this with oh, there's so many others. Maybe leeching set. There's the ice pillar set there that you could combine it with. That after you do frost damage, there it also summons pillars of ice. Do this on a warden tank. All right. Anyways, that is the two sets there. Let's take a look real quick at the monster sets as well while we're at it. We're sitting here naked in Craglorn. So first up, Stonekeeper. If you've ever wanted to look like a automaton, great. All right. So this here is Stonekeeper Visage. Stamina, Magicka, Health, and 2 items. When you block an attack, you gain an energy charge stack, up to 1 stack per charge. When you have 6 charges, you release the energy, restoring back 5,350 stamina and Magicka, and healing for 5,350. After the charge is released, you will not regain new charges for 14 seconds. I think this is a very greedy set for tanks, but I think it's going to be very interesting as well. This could make it so you just have to block a few times and you're getting all your stuff back, which might be the return of a permanent block tank. But is it really that great? I don't know. It's going to be like the total amount of resources coming back from this is over 1,500. But is it really that great? I don't know. I think the biggest issue to me is 1, you have to get the 6 charges, and you have to release it, and then 2, after you use the charges there, you're not going to come back for 14 seconds here. And I think the issue I have with this is if you're a tank and you're blocking all the time, a lot of this is just not going to be like you can't effectively like choose when this happens. You're going to have to block some attacks when you're inside, when you're getting attacked. And you can't just ignore and not block them, which means you're going to have downtime when you don't necessarily want the downtime. Addition to that, depends on how many people are hitting you at once. If you're going to hit a lot, then yeah, it's going to bounce you back up, but then you're going to have to wait another 14 seconds to get that back up. Other one? Ooh, that's actually interesting on Khajiit here. The Meridian one. So anyway, Symphony of the Blades Vestige. 2% is or first item bonus is 2% healing done. Not really a great stat, but then the next is When you heal an ally under 50% of their primary resources, grant them Meridian's favor, restoring 2,325 magicka or stamina, whichever is the maximum higher, every 1 second for 6 seconds. If I concur, every 18 seconds. Again, another one that has a really long cooldown time. It's a selfish set for sure. A lot of people think this is going to be a new de facto overusing. Blood Spawn is its own unique one there, but no, Earth Gore is the other one there, where you can do a heal and you can just automatically boost yourself up when you're below 50%. But the reason this is interesting is because when you're low on resources, it's just automatically going to give it back to you. The reason that a lot of people think that tanks are going to be using this and not healers is because using Green Dragon Blood or something like that, you're going to be able to get a lot of your stamina back so you can have something more to block with. But again, that downtime is a long time for 18 seconds. And is that going to be enough? So you're looking at 2,325, right? I bring up my calculator here. 2,325 times 6. 13k every 1 second, but you're still going to be hit during that time too. I don't know that you're getting back half your resources with that, but is it much better than the DK being able to use more ultimates using Blood Spawn, or have the ability to heal themselves up and reduce, like, get rid of all ground AoEs using Earth Gore? I don't know. It's definitely going to be better than Engine Guardian, at least. So there's that for that as well. Anyways, that's the new sets here. The looks of them, and a little discussion about some of the traits they're going to have. We'll see what's going to happen with them. Again, this is all PTS. Things are going to probably change here after people complain that the sets are too strong. So don't take everything here as it is what it is. But the looks, they're probably going to stay the same here. Anyway, you're in Tamriel.